Okay, now that we're on the back side of the page, you'll notice a massive difference right there. Right now, we've got a 3 instead of those x squareds. Every last one of these has a number in front of the x squared. So we cannot use the same quick method as we did on the first page. We cannot not simply think what multiplies to -5 but adds to -2. Even if we found something, it doesn't work for the entire problem. What we have to think is a little process. We'll think two things that multiply to the left. We'll get two things that multiply to the right. And to check, we're going to try and add up to the middle. All right, so let's walk through that real quick. First things first, we want two things that multiply up to the left. I'm going to put those on the left. So 3 times 1 is 3, so I'm going to put a 3x and an x, because 3x times x is 3x squared. All right? And then we'll do two things that multiply to the right, to -5. -5, pretty much your only options are 1 times 5, so I'm going to go 1 times 5. All right, now where I put them does matter, so this is starting off as a guess to see how this works. And I'm going to make the 1 negative and the 5 positive. All right, because they have to be opposite signs to multiply up to a -5. Okay, so that is my guess. Left side multiplies to the left. The -3, the 3 and the x multiply to the left. And the right side multiplies to the right. -1 times 5 is -5. Now, to make sure that this is the right combination, I'm going to do the inside and outside. I'm going to multiply the 3x times the 5 and the -1 times the x and see if those add up to my middle term. Okay, so here we go. 3x times 5 is 15x. -1 times x is -x, and those add up to -14. I'm sorry, positive 14x. That is not my middle term. Okay? All we got to do is go back and change something. So back. So here we go. I'm going to erase the 5. I'm going to erase the 1. I'm simply just going to switch where I put them. If I put a -5 here and a positive 1 there, again, outside, inside. 3 times 1 is 3x. -5 times x is -5x. And when I add those together, 3 minus 5 is -2x. Yay! I got the middle term. All right, because I got the middle term, that means that this combination of factors right here is the right combination, is the correct combination. All right? And this over here to the left is just chicken scratch. You don't really have to write. All the stuff I put over here, you don't have to write down. So here we go. From here, we solve just like we did earlier. Take the part in parentheses, set it equal to 0. So 3x minus 5 equals 0. Move the sign over, 3x equals 5. Divide by 3, x equals 5/3. X plus 1 equals 0. So x equals -1. Oop. And we'll graph it just like we did before. We got -1 and 5/3. Just like that. Okay? Easy peasy chicken greasy. Alright, so that seems a little more complicated, and it is, but you just gotta do it and get used to what's going on. So again, we're gonna every time we do this, two things that multiply to the left, two things that multiply to the right, outside inside adds up to the middle. Two things multiply to the left, two things multiply to the right, outside inside adds up to the middle. So here we go. Parentheses. What are two things that multiply to the left? The only options are 2 and 1. So 2x times x. Two things that multiply to the right. Well, you've got 3 and 3. You also have 1 times 9. I'm going to try the 3 and the 3. And one of them has to be negative, so I'm just going to go ahead and guess -3 and +9 and +3. All right, and again, this is a guess. And it may work the first time. And so to check, it's the outside and the inside, and they add up. So 2 times 3 is 6x. -3 times 1 is -3x. And those add up to 6 minus 3 is 3x. Is that my middle term? Yes. So those two factors are correct. Go ahead and erase this real quick. Give myself some space. From here, again, set them equal to 0. 2x minus 3 equals 0. Move the 3 over, that's 2x equals 3. Divide by 2, x equals 3 halves. X plus 3 equals 0. Move the 3 over, x equals negative 3. So I got a negative 3 and a positive 3 halves. Those are my roots. Those are my solutions. All right. So that is the pattern. That's what's going on. All right. For the rest of the page, I'm going to be doing these pretty quickly. I'm not going to take as long to explain it, but the pattern is the same for every single one of these. Two things that multiply to the left, two things that multiply to the right. The outside and the inside adds up to the middle.